Alright, the number one question I get asked about this thing is what kind of frame is it? Is it a Yamaha Blaster, Yamaha Banshee? I've heard all types of things, but I've done a little digging myself and I hate to break it to you, I just don't know. It sucks, but I wish I knew myself because I would like another frame or something, or just to build another one. So basically, if I wanted another one myself, I would have to do what I did the first time and look around on OfferUp, find the shape I like, and build that thing. So if I ever see the same style frame, hopefully it has like a sticker on it or something that indicates like what kind it is, because it's not like I'm not trying to tell you. It's a China quad for sure. I just don't know the name of it. But yeah, it didn't look like this when I picked it up. It looks pretty like cool and sleek, and probably that's why a lot of you asked like what kind of frame it is. But when I first picked it up, there's a crap ton of like brackets, mounts, and all that stuff that weren't needed on here. So I cut them all off, bent a lot of metal, cut a lot of metal, reshaped a bunch of stuff, built this gas tank that fits the frame, the seat as well, added a lot of reinforcements because it is a little China bike, so they're not like the most strongest things in the world, but you could still have fun on them if you build them right. So I know a bunch about this quad because I built it and I could just blab about everything myself, but I gave you guys the option to ask me a bunch of questions on my Instagram story, what you want to know about it. So I'm going to go through those questions and I'm going to answer them for you. Another reason why I'm making this video, I'm just trying to show you, we're not a really big business or like a big garage or anything like that. This garage is literally where I make all of the stuff you see on the page. So I don't have fancy tools in here. Yeah, just basically normal general tools you would find in your garage. So yeah, I'm just trying to show you that if you really want to do something, you could just go out there and build it. It's not easy at all. You might take a few months and it may stress you out a little bit, but if you get to it at the end, I promise you, you're going to be so stoked about it. So if you're dealing with that right now, don't give up. And if you're thinking about it, you should definitely try it. It's worth it. Another thing, there's a whole video of this build when I first started taking on this project on my YouTube channel. So if you go down on the page a little bit, you'll see a video called mini quad build. So if you click on that, it's like 16 minutes long, but it shows you a bunch of the stuff I took care of to make it look this way. And that's a good video for you to visually see everything I did. So check that video out.
I was born from the quad.
Start.
Timmy.ww. Do you sell these? I do, but we don't really just have them on a website. We don't sell them mass produce. These builds that I do really started from like me thinking of these over time and wanting to bring them to reality. So I personally see them as my own little art pieces. I'm not out here trying to like make a ton of money or like sell these things in Walmart, like that kind of style thing, you know. Like each thing I build, I put a lot of my own self into, and I make sure it's perfect and it's going to function as it should, and it'll last for me or anyone else who might use it in the future. I do sell them, but you just have to be serious about it. Boric.Vanik. What is this suspension? The suspension comes from a KTM 65 dirt bike. It has a lot of adjustable compression and rebound with just a turn of a knob. But the reason why I use this is because for this ATV that's really light, this shock went from being used on the rear suspension of a dirt bike to being to where you see it now. But with that change, these things are a lot more stiffer on this mini quad, so it works almost like a coilover on a car. That's why when you see me drift with this thing, You don't see the suspension flexing or anything like that. It holds it really nice and steady. But it does move just a little bit, but not that much. HGS.Nilo. Is it possible to buy one? Yes. Cheese and Gauge. How did you build the seat? Well, this was something that I kind of had to brainstorm a little bit, and the base of this seat is actually a skateboard. It's like some Walmart brand skateboard I cut up right before the bend right here so it could go with this bend with the frame. I thought that was a cool little piece. And then the foam, I went to like Joann's or some craft store. Yeah, it was? Yeah. And me and Suze bought some foam. We picked a nice firmness for the booty, you know, and then we found a nice fabric at the same store. We wanted something that wouldn't fade in the sunlight, wouldn't tear and hold up. And this thing's already over a year old, probably 2 years. I honestly don't even know how old this thing is now. I don't keep track, but it's holding up. So you could build your own very easily. And all of this is held in with like 2 or 1 bolt under the seat. And I bolted that in a pretty cool way. You just can't see it because I would have to take off this seat cover to show you how it was mounted. But with the single bolt under here, I could loosen that and the seat still pops off. Next question we have 619_Torres02. How can I get a frame? So that one would be tricky because I don't produce this frame. We don't know what kind it is, but we are working on a whole new drift cart, so I hope you like that frame I come out with, because that you can buy. So stay tuned for when that drops because we're working hard on that thing. Moham_Datney. How you make the front brake? Well, this one actually doesn't have front brakes. We only have a rear brake, and I actually use brakes from a KTM 65. And the reason why I have a lot of those parts on here is because this project was built off a lot of like leftover parts I have. So the shocks were from shocks I just had laying around the garage. The brakes on the rear were from the same dirt bike I just welded and made special tabs for all of this to work. Yeah, so we don't have front brakes though. Trippy Suze, do you have any builds for sale?
Hey, support.
Dominic.Muwalo. I'm currently in the process of making a drift quad, but I'm stuck on hubs. Any pics of yours? There's a few pics on the Instagram page, but like I said earlier in this video, those are 30mm hub bores with metric bolt pattern. And you basically look up that info and you could find the same thing, or you measure your axle and you find the hub according to yours. Jackie Leo 07. Do you have construction plans for the steering? The steering was already pre-built pretty much. The only thing I changed was getting more angle out of this. So I made my own little angle kit for drifting, and that way I could get nice angles out of drift and not loop out of every turn I make, because it hardly turned before. Now it does like a good full tilt. Nico_Ace. What coilovers? Oh, we're using WP suspension. So I guess that's kind of about it. We have, let's see if I have a few more actually before I say it's over with. Yeah, I think I covered most of the questions you guys had. There's a lot of things I'm sure I didn't cover, but you're always free to ask and comment on my Instagram, or go on YouTube, subscribe, because I'll be making a lot more of these videos. If you're new to this, I'm Chris, this is UFO Build Co, and that's Trippy Suze behind the camera. Her Instagram is also Trippy Suze, so go check us out, and thank you for watching. Subscribe, and see you later.